Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Love with Transwest Truck Trailer RV, and today I've got the pleasure of coming to you from the 2024 Newmar Country Club Rally in Pueblo, Colorado. Basically, this is a gathering place for all of the Newmar owners. We have a lot of the 2025 new models here. We have a couple of 23s and 24s also to show you. So this is actually a closed event except for today. The public is welcome to come down and look at the new models. So if you're in the area, please come on down or give us a call if you have any questions. I'm going to walk around right now. This is a 2023 Supreme Aire, and this one is built on the M2 112 chassis with the Detroit Diesel DD13 engine in it, 505 horsepower, 1850 foot-pounds of torque. And the Supreme Aire is the top end of the Super Cs in so many different categories. I'll explain that as we walk around. Well, let's go ahead and take a look down the passenger side here. First of all, we've got a pair of the Girard Nova awnings, and I love these awnings. They span almost the whole length of the coach. They come down, they articulate, shed water very well, and on a day like this where it's nearly 100 degrees, you appreciate all of the shade you can get. As we take a look at some of the storage compartments here, well, tell you what, let me unlock those real quick. Didn't realize I had locked them back up. There we go. You can actually unlock them from your keyless entry if you have the code. Or there's a place inside. So you can see in the first one, we've got a little bit of storage, not a real big compartment. One thing about the Super Cs, most of them are not going to have pass-through compartment, but there is some in the back of this, which makes them a little bit unique. Up here in the next compartment, you can see our Oasis Chinook. That is a dual-loop hydronic heating system. It provides your continuous hot water, your coach heat. The unique thing about the Chinook, when you compare it to other hydronic systems, it has two electric elements and one diesel element. The beauty of that is you can heat your coach electrically down to a lower temperature, maybe in the 40s, 45 degrees, without having to fire up the diesel. If you do walk out there on a day where it is bitter cold and you want to heat it up right away, you can turn on the diesel and both elements at the same time. You also have floor heat. So in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, you can go from sub-freezing to a livable temperature quite comfortably. Back in this compartment, you can see we've got our accessories for our central vacuum system there. You've got a hookup inside. There is one outside. So if you want to clean out your storage compartments, it's all right there for you. Another thing I want to point out, this is kind of unique. Take a look at this hinge right here. And as I push it in, you notice how it rises up. The reason they do that, if you look at the clearance here, with the More Floor slide, which Newmar has, they come out and they drop about 3 or 4 inches. If you didn't have that hinge here, you would have to make this compartment about 3 or 4 inches lower, which cuts down on the access to the storage compartment. Newmar is kind of a unique company in how they build it and their attitude, and their slogan is when you know the difference. And this is one of the differences they're talking about. I don't know how much more these hinges cost, but it gives you extra storage, and it's one of the few things Newmar does that sort of sets them apart. Okay, let's move back to the compartment behind the door. Here we've got our outside TV, and it'll stop here, but then you can lift this back up so you have easy access to it. This does pull out and articulate. You've got a nice Bose sound bar on a 41-inch TV right there. Also, if you notice, we do have a drain for your freshwater tank right there. Like I said, we have a keyless entry, heavy-duty grab handle, and one thing you'll notice about this step, it's a 3-step hydraulic. It does have sensors, so if there's a curb or something right here that it's going to hit, it won't just smash into it. It senses that, it will stop so you don't do any damage to your steps. Another thing I'll point out while we're here, this is a good place to look at the Masterpiece paint finish. Notice how the lines on the coach follow that all the way around rather than just having a black panel there. It continues with the paint job all the way around. Another thing Newmar does that's a little bit unique, and while we're right here, I'll point out, if you look at these corners and the way they tuck in right here, Newmar has true flush slides. They tuck inside the sidewall. The beauty of that is you don't have the rain and the wind and the weather blowing in around your seals. When these are closed all the way, you get a tighter seal, and they find out a lot of the noise as you're going down the road is from wind around your slide outs in your door. So the way Newmar builds these, the way they seal those, is just different than a lot of other coaches. Most have a fascia that overhangs right there, and it's much easier for the wind and weather to get in when you've got them built that way. Okay, as we move down, dual axles here. Now this is only a 40-foot coach, and you actually have 8 tires here. These are, you can engage them to be dual drive axles, which is kind of unique. A lot of times you see the tag axle, you think it's just a single wheel axle on each side for support. Well, these actually can be engaged as drive axles. And this coach has 30,000 pounds of towing. So sometimes if you're towing a heavy trailer, you're in the sand or something, you want those extra drive axles to help get you through it. Okay, back here is one of the rear compartments. I told you that there's some pass-through storage. Now it doesn't go all the way through on the bottom or the top, but you can see how far that goes. Kind of unique to the Super Cs. These are your glad hands if you are pulling something with air brakes. They're right there. Got your awning controllers right here. Now, a lot of times if you have problems with your awnings, all you need to do is unplug that, wait for 10 or 20 seconds, and it resets itself. Similar to a computer, plug it back in and it'll work. If not, there are numbers you can call. Newmar has great support. Transwest has great technical support after the sale, so we'll get you through it. Also, you notice there's a 110 outlet. Almost every storage compartment has one available. This is our road vac I was talking about. You can plug that hose in right here, vacuum out all of your storage compartments. Then of course we do get a few extra floor tiles down there. This compartment here, and you can see this one does pass all the way through on the top. Kind of unique. You've got a light switch here in the back, but also I'm going to go ahead and release my rear cap. See how that pops up? And look at the storage you get here. How you can access all of this underneath. You've got some nice racks here, maybe for oil or coolant or tools, gloves, things you might not want to bring in the coach. They give you a nice area for that. This pops up if it's at night. The light comes on automatically. And then while we're in the back here, let's talk about the Gen Y hitch. Now, this coach is rated to pull 30,000 pounds on the ball. You have 2 5/16 and a 2-inch that'll turn around. Fully adjustable, whatever height you need. Here's where you'd hook up your glad hands for the air brake. You do have your 7-way plug right here. Hook up for your Voyager camera. Maybe you're pulling a stacker trailer or a 6-horse trailer. You want to keep an eye on your horses. If you've got a camera in there, you can toggle back and forth up in the cab. And then you also have another plug there to go to your stacker or your race trailer, whatever you're towing. Just an extremely heavy-duty hitch with that 505 horsepower, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. You've got the power to get you up and down the hills in Colorado. You're always going to be pulling a pass somewhere. So, like I say, of the Super Cs, one of the better ones on the market by far. Okay, let's step around on the driver's side. You can see the other part of that storage compartment. Right here we have a 50 amp plug, and that would be to power your trailer. Especially, the race car teams, they've always got a bunch of tools and need to work on them back there, so that's where you would tie it in. nice LED strip when you open them up. This is our 12.5 Onan generator. It is a diesel generator. It'll run both the ACs, the microwave, everything all at once. We've got it running now because it's nearly 100 degrees and we want that air conditioner on. Okay, there's your exhaust for that generator. Keep an eye on that. It does get pretty hot. You want to be careful you don't burn yourself. Again, 8 tires in the back, dual drive axles. You have some recessed docking lights here. This is our water compartment. What I like about this, number one, you have the macerator pump. You can see that right here. The way they etch these in, you know, they never peel off like the decals will. You do have your electric dump valves here, whole house water filter. There's a monitor here to monitor your tank levels and so forth. Black tank rinse, gray tank rinse, which is kind of unusual. Not a lot of them have the gray tank rinse. Also, you have an outside shower and a power water hose. It's manual out, power retract. Easy access for your winterization bypass kit. You can see we've still got some antifreeze left in there from the winter. And again, we've got one of those unique hinges, and if you just look how this comes up, if you tried to swing it out when it was all the way in like this, you're going to hit or at least scrape right there. So they drop it down. It gives you a taller compartment and better access to it. Over here, and you see this one's already below it, so we don't need to worry about it. But we do have our 50 amp power cord. That is, again, manual out, power back in. If you've ever wrestled with one of those in the winter, you know how hard it is to roll that up when they're cold. So having that is really convenient. And I like the fact that your button is right here to retract that power cord. You don't have to bend over to get it in. Also, you can see we've got our cable input here, or maybe a portable satellite, crossover circuit with surge protector back there. And you can kind of see a little bit on this next compartment of our dual 3,000 watt inverters and our 2 Lithionics 320 amp hour batteries. So we've got 640 amp hours right here with the 2 3,000 watt inverters. One of them is dedicated to your living room air conditioner, so you can run that going down the road off your batteries. You don't have to turn the generator on, and you can see that it's built to have a third lithium battery there, so you could have a total of 960 amp hours. Another thing about these Super Cs, generally they're not the ones going to the RV parks or the KOAs. They camp off grid quite a bit, and you might be out there for a week or more. We've got 150 gallons of fresh water here, 40 on the black, 60 on the gray. So there's enough water to stay out a long time. If you come back after dirt bike riding and there's 3 of you that are, you know, sweaty and dirty, you can shower back to back without having to worry about running out of water. Okay, let's show you here. We've got, that's our chassis batteries. They put a nice cover on there to protect it from the elements as you're going down the road. Now this is our fuel tank. Now we've got dual fuel tanks, one on each side, 50 gallons each. See, we have a depth tank right here. This is our coolant for the Oasis. And there's a couple of quick connects for your air connection. One of those is an emergency input. Say you lose your compressor and you want to air up your airbags for the rear. That's what one of them is for. The other side is, you know, to air up your toys, your tires, whatever you need it for. But very handy to have those there. And then over in this compartment, you can see we've got a hot water outlet, and that's nice when you pull over, you want to wash all the bugs off your windshield. You can hook up to that and very easily clean your cab area. Throughout the coach, we have our side monitors, our backup monitors. We have them in front. This does have the 360 view camera. Cab area of the Cascadias are very comfortable. One thing that's a little easier to show right here, we do have heated seats. We have air seats. You can drop it down, air it up right here. It's kind of nice to be able to figure out where these are before you get inside. You've got your tilt here for your backrest. And this switch right here, a little hard to see, is your master disconnect for your chassis batteries. So when you jump in, you reach down, turn those on, you're ready to go. They do have breakaway mirrors here. And what I mean, you know, you can lay these up against the coach when you're pulling in a garage and you're really tight, or maybe you come by a tree or something and hit it this way. It'll close in toward the cab, and they are heavy duty. These will hold 200 pounds or more. I just like the way Freightliner does this. And I mentioned this is on the M2 106 chassis. One thing about the 106, or the 112, excuse me, the 106 you can put the 8.9 liter in, but on this one you can get the 13 liter engine. Bigger compartment will accommodate a bigger engine. You've got this bright 9 grill here, and we also have 1,400 cubic inches of radiator, aluminum radiator up front, so better cooling for that big engine and when you're pulling that heavy load up a steep hill. Okay, everything is easy to access. This is one of the beauties of the Super C motorhomes. A lot of people like to work on them themselves. Somebody my size can actually get right inside here. Got your dipstick, your oil fill, you've got your fuse box right here. Always check that if you're having a problem with something not working. Power steering fluid, coolant, everything easy to access. Another thing that Freightliner does, I like this bumper. You notice it's kind of hinged right here, the way they've got it bolted. There's a seam in the front. On a front end collision, this is designed to collapse in and not take out the entire front bumper. You've got a little flange here, so if it does, you know, get pushed into the tire, you may not damage that tire. They really thought this out well. It's just a great chassis. If you come on over and take a look on the other side, while we're going around, I will point out this is our on-guard adaptive cruise collision mitigation system. Okay, over here you can see the windshield washer fluid, little gauge here that tells you how dirty your air cleaner is getting, which is right here. And again, if you're the type of person that likes to work on engines yourself, you'll love the Super Cs because they're easy to get into. And when I push this down, if a gust of wind comes up or something and you're in there working, it does have struts, so it doesn't slam down on your head. You actually kind of have to help it down a little bit. There we go, to get it reattached. Another thing about, well, I'll show you when we get inside on this, but the steps, the grab handles, it makes it easier for a shorter person such as myself to get into the cab without really struggling. Let's go ahead and take a look at the floor plan inside. Okay. Nice and cool in here. Now, one of the unique things about these Newmar Super Cs is they actually have a step cover. Here we go. So if you're traveling with a dog maybe, or you've got little kids in here running around, it's nice to be able to close this compartment so they're not falling down into the step well there. And you also have an entry step override. What that does is it keeps the steps from going in and out every time you open the door. Once they're out, they stay out. If you happen to jump in and start up the engine to drive off, they will close automatically, so you're not going to damage them with your steps being out as you travel down the road. So right here is a lot of our master control switches. We've got our awning switches. We do have a Wi-Fi router, and this it's the Ranger Denali Wi-Fi with a router. Entry lock button. Here is your compartment door lock. Step cover. That's the switch for the entry step. Security lights throughout. Your outside LEDs and patio lights. You got your slide out switches right here. This is your HWH auto levelers. Just push the button. Once you pull into your campground, it levels by itself. If for some reason you need to reset it, you've got a reset button right here. Push and hold it for 5 seconds and it will reset those levelers. These are our awning controls overhead. We've got both of them out, and then you do have a Winegard satellite on the roof there. And again, these LED lights come on as soon as you open up this compartment. Okay, 4061 floor plan. It's 40 feet, 10 inches long. Let's take a look at what we've got for our living room area. First of all, we do have a hide-a-bed couch here. That's a queen hide-a-bed. Not going to pull it out, but a very comfortable villa furniture with ultra leather finish here. Got 3 nice size storage compartments right here. They do give you some rugs here. You do have more plugs in the back, covers for your window and blackout. Just about everywhere you sit, you're going to find one of these KIB panels. You can adjust your overhead lights here. If I go to my home screen, want to turn on the shades, let me see. How about if I bring the TV down, I'm getting ready to travel. I want my televator to drop down. You can do that right here. We also have a monitor panel right here. It tells you where your batteries are, fresh black and gray tank, and then our display brightness. But there's probably 6 or 8 of these smaller panels throughout the coach, and then you've got a main one in the cab area. We'll show you that at the end. Another one in the bedroom, but no matter where you sit, you can control the lights right there. And also, you've got 110 outlets and USB ports for charging your phone all throughout the coach. Across from the couch where our televator sits, we do have our dinette booth. Now this does pull out, has a couple of leaves for an extension there. One thing about these dinette booths, and I get asked this a lot, they don't convert if it doesn't have that angled piece that goes down there. This is a fixed table, but you do have a little support there if you pull it out all the way. A couple of folding chairs under the bed so you can get 6 people around here quite easily. That's just magnetic when you flip it up. Also, you have storage on both sides here underneath. Overhead, we've got a couple more compartments. There's always one dedicated for video components. You can see you've got your HDMI cables there. It does have a satellite on it. Of course, you have to provide your own box for either dish or direct. So many people are using streaming systems anymore, it seems like. You have another compartment over here. Up front in the cab area, let's take a look at this storage. Got a couple of cabinets here. Three more here, and you can see this is one of our main, this has the Silverleaf system on it, so you can scroll through, AC power. One thing about the generator, there is an auto gen start on this. You can set it according to battery levels. Maybe if they get too low, you want it to fire up. You can also set it according to temperature. If you want to leave some pets in here while you go on a hike and afraid of it going to get too hot, you can set a temperature where that generator is going to start up, fire up those air conditioners for you, keep your pets nice and cool. Over on this side, another storage compartment there. This one, you notice that they've got a couple of numbers here. Now you have one for Freightliner and you have one for Newmar, so if you do need some assistance, you can call in and talk to one of their product managers very easily. With that being said, I do want to point out also, if you buy a unit from Transwest RV, we have a technical advisor. His name's Bill, and Bill is probably one of the most knowledgeable people I know in the RV business. Ironically enough, almost 20 years ago, we both worked at another dealership here in Colorado. He was a service manager, I was in sales. He's the kind of guy that you can call and say, I've got an '06 Signature and I got problems with my inverter. Well, the third compartment back, you reach behind here is your reset button. He just knows all systems. Great pool of information, and you will have his cell phone if you buy from us, so please don't hand it out to everybody. Bill gets probably more calls than he cares to, but that's just some of the support you get from Transwest. Okay, let's take a look at the kitchen area. Now, I love the high polish countertops they have here, Korean style countertops. You can see you've got a dual undermount stainless steel sink with a residential style sprayer there. And if you are going to be using your sink and want to store those away, they actually give you a place down here to kind of tuck those away. Also, you can see on this side, we've got a place for a trash can. These are soft close also. Little pull out there. And even your cabinet doors are soft close, which is a nice feature. Overhead, a little more storage. Again with the pull-outs, which is nice for people that maybe not very tall and hard to reach the back. It's nice to these pull out. That's all your manuals right there. Over on this side, we have our induction cook surface. Backside's got some nice cutting boards, but you know, people generally don't use those when they come in and trade. Those are like they're brand new. A true induction cook surface will work with anything that is metallic. Anything that a magnet will stick to will work with these, and that includes your cast iron. You can pull that out, unplug it, take it out under your awning. Maybe you're cooking fish or bacon or something. You don't want to, you know, have those smells lingering in here. It's easy to take it out. In fact, I've seen this demonstration, never done it myself, but you can cover this with a newspaper if you're cooking something like bacon or something messy. Put your pot on it, turn it on, it'll heat that pan up without burning the newspaper. When you get done, take that pan off, fold up the newspaper and throw it away. It's really amazing technology. It works by moving the electrons around. So takes a little bit of a learning curve to get used to it, but once you do, people that have these love them. Nice convection microwave. Big enough to, you know, to do a small turkey or a chicken certainly, or you could also bake your cookies in there if you want to. Underneath we've got a nice silverware drawer. All the remotes that you're ever going to need for your awnings, for your TVs, sound bars, things like that. You do get some touch-up paint. This is a 3-color paint job, and by the way, I didn't mention it outside, but it is a custom paint job. That's one thing Newmar will do. It'll allow you to switch up the colors a little bit and make it your own coach if you don't want to do a standard paint job. Dishwasher under the stove there. 3 more full pull-out drawers. And these pull out a long way. Like I say, they're all soft close. We've got another storage compartment here with an adjustable shelf. Across from our kitchen, we do have a pantry area. And again, these are all adjustable shelves too. Not extremely deep, but there's a lot of room there for your dry goods, your canned goods, whatever. And then down below, you can see we have our central vac. You would put your hose in there. If you're sweeping the floor, you sweep it up here, lift that up, sucks it right in there. Nice and easy. Okay, let's move back to the bathroom area. I'm gonna step inside here. Go ahead and show you what we've got for a shower. Now, this is only a 40-footer, and with the Super C, you give up some living space because of that front engine. But this is a large shower. I'm only 5'8", but with this skylight, you can see how a taller person can fit in here very easily. Beautiful tile job throughout. You do have a nice waterfall style shower head with a hand wand. And the Aquamizer system is kind of nice. What it does, it's designed not only to save your fresh water, but also to prevent from filling up your gray tank too fast. As your water is heating up, it's recirculating it back into the holding tank. When this light turns red, you flip the switch. Now comes out your shower head. Now you're filling your gray tank. But the whole time you're waiting for it to warm up, you're not wasting your fresh water. You're not filling that tank. Just a great system. And also, it's got this teak seat. And, you know, it just makes it a lot easier as you get older. Sometimes you want to sit down or put your legs up there for the women that might be shaving their legs. Over here we've got a nice large medicine cabinet. You can see you've got the 110s right there. Little storage over here. A little tight for two of us in here, but I'll get them all open. You've got more storage right here. Porcelain toilet. And then let me open these up, and then I'll step out of the way. And there's some more storage under the sink. 4 nice pull-out drawers, and then a little bit of storage underneath there. And let me demonstrate just a couple of things. This has got a nice accent light for the mirror. You've got some courtesy lights down below. Vanity lights I'll turn on. So a lot of options here if you want to turn your ceiling lights off, the vanity lights, and just have your mirror lights. Gives it a really nice ambiance in here. You do have the powered vent fan right overhead. You've got 3 of these fantastic fans throughout, I believe. So again, not the largest of the bathrooms, but it's not an extremely long motorhome either. You're only 40 foot, which means it's easier to get into some of the tighter places. We've got our 19.7 cubic foot refrigerator. Down below we do have an ice maker in the freezer compartment. And then over here, more pantry space. And I love what they've done down below. Somebody's got one of these in a little crooked. If you've got, you know, cookie sheets or cutting boards or things like that that you want to store vertically, great place to do it right there. You've got 5 pull-out drawers. Again, these are the kind that you have to push in to release. And that's nice, so they're not flying out and opening your door as you go down the road. Nice solid latch when you close them there. Okay, and that brings us back to the bedroom area. First of all, on each side of the bed, you've got pedestals, and down below there, you do have a 110 outlet. There's USBs down there for charging phone. Maybe you have a sleep machine or something you want to plug in at night. You can do it on both sides of the bed. We do have a nice king bed, and you can see underneath. We've got the 2 folding chairs that match the fabric up at your dinette, and the 2 table leaves that extended out quite a ways. Otherwise, you've got some good storage, good room down here. Over the bed, you've got some nice storage that goes all the way through there. I like the fact that it's kind of open, so if you have longer items, you can get in there. There is a 110 plug. You've got access ports on each side. You do have another KIB panel here, so you can turn on your reading lights. If you get in bed and you forgot to turn out the lights in the living room, you've got an all-off switch right here. Makes it easy to just shut everything down when you're laying in your bed. There we go. And on the side, of course, you do have a couple of functioning windows. These are nice when you want to get a breeze through here. Turn on one of those fantastic fans, draws air through. Maybe you don't need your air conditioner on, but you want to cool it a little bit. Another nice feature there. Across from the bed, we've got our dresser area. You've got 6 of these deep drawers. And another thing about Newmar, they do all of their own cabinet work, and they do a beautiful job of it. Nothing is a wrap style. It is all 100% hardwood. Maple, I believe this is. Got your 39-inch TV in the bedroom. Up here again, you've got an area for your video components if you have gaming systems or satellites or things like that. Another one of your larger silverleaf panels. And, you know, if you want to get into your climate, your auto gen start, this does have floor heat, 2 zones, and those actually are a timer is what they are. So I think you've got, what, 10 of them here? Anyway, they run for 2 minutes at a time. Each notch you go up, and then, so in a 20-minute cycle, if you've got it on 5, the heat will be on 10 minutes, then it'll shut off for 10 minutes. And the nice thing about having the floor heat and an electric grid, it's in the thin set right under this tile. The difference between that and the hydronic system, number one, with the hydronic system, it's in the subfloor. So you've got 2.5 inches of subfloor and tile to heat up before you feel the heat, and it takes a lot longer to cool it down. If you have a problem with hydronics, it's almost impossible to fix. You have to come from underneath to get it. With the electric grid being right under this tile, it heats up faster, it cools down quicker. If there's a fault somewhere, they can determine it's right under that tile, take that one tile out, get in there from the top and fix it, replace that tile, and it's seamless. You don't even know they've worked on it. So it's just a great system. And like I say, on those really bitter cold days, I'm going to jump in here, I'm going to turn my Oasis on, diesel, both electric elements, fire up my floor. You can heat this coach up quite fast, quite quickly, in maybe 10 or 15 minutes or so. Okay, in the very back, we do have our Splendid stackable washer and dryer. You can see in the closet we have a built-in shoe rack. We do have a safe in there. Underneath here is a few more full pull-out drawers, so they give you a lot of storage throughout. And then again, another pedestal with 110 outlets, so you can plug your CPAP machine in from either side. I think I want to go up and talk about the cab a little bit more, but also take a look at the ceiling. Now, our air conditioning ducts are covered here, which is really nice. This is ducted air conditioning. It's not just channeled out of the styrofoam up there, and they do a great job with the decorator ceiling. In fact, Newmar likes to point out that they're known for their Class A coaches. And when they build this, it really is a Class A motorhome on a Super C chassis. You've got the same walls, the same ceiling, all of the features, all of the beautiful handwork of the Newmar. The cap is different than you're going to find on other Super Cs. Even the door here, this is a solid door. It's not a hollow, you know, cheaper door that you might find on a closet. Again, when you know the difference, you have to look at a Newmar when you're shopping for an RV. Okay, one last thing. I want to show the camera system and a little bit of what we've got on the dash. Now, we do have these kind of queued up for people that want to do a test drive while you're down here. So please, if you want to come down and take a look, get a hold of us. Now, one thing I like about, first of all, let's get into the camera system. It's our menu, our radio, our nav, our Bluetooth. When you go to your camera, typically if you're driving down the road, this is the view you get, kind of a wide angle view. Maybe you've got a trailer and you want to keep an eye on your motorcycle if it's bouncing around. Or maybe you want to look straight down on your hitch when you're backing up, hooking into a trailer. So nice features there. You can, check your surroundings when you're in the campground. If you want to look forward, you can actually put a screen on there where you can see both sides, front and back. And then you also have the 360 camera. You can use this while you're driving. I find it a little bit more handy when you're in the campground, backing in, maybe you have people close to you, or you want to keep an eye on what's around you. Just a great camera system. You can go to your navigation. Once you're there, put in your new route, where you're going. It'll give you traffic warnings, things like that. On your dash, we do have a 6-speed Allison 4000 transmission. We've got some, what do we got here? Our shutdown override, auto traction control override. We've got our windows, locks for your compartments and the front door, mirror heat. Over here we've got our engine brake. There is a 3-speed engine brake. Your light test, this is your TPMS system. It's not going to fire up without the engine running. Here is your differential lock. So like I said, you can have twin drive axles in the back, and also you can dump your suspension, which is handy when you're hooking up to a trailer. Set your camera so you can see that hitch, back up under where you're going with it on the lowest setting possible, then hook up and raise your trailer back up. We do have a shade overhead. Let me kind of demonstrate that. A nice sunshade, and there's a great skylight there. Now, with these Superstar and Supreme Aires, you don't have a bunk option overhead, but if you want to open this up at night and maybe watch the stars, whatever, on miserably hot days like today, close that off, keep the heat out. And I'm not going to run that all the way. Oops, it kind of hung up on that one side. There we go. We do have cab ceiling lights, docking lights for the back and on the sides. We've got our courtesy lights. If somebody lets you pass, you want to flash them and say thank you. Gen start and stop right here. This is our house and battery battery. You can pool them together, so maybe on cold weather, if your house or chassis batteries are a little low, you can use all the batteries to help start it. And again, your differential lock, your forced regen on your particulate chamber, you're probably never going to use that, but if you do feel like you need to, it's right there. It'll give you a signal on your dash if you need to, as you're going down the road, that it's going into the regen cycle. You just keep driving until that shuts off. Cruise control over on this side, light switches and so forth. You do have your regular horn, and you have kids, let them pull this one. That'll let everybody know you're here. So once again, this is a 2023 Supreme Aire 4061 floor plan. My name's Mark Love. If you have any questions, please call or text me at 970-631-0083. And if you want to email me, it is mlove@transwest.com. Let us know if you have any questions or you want to set up a test drive. And like always, happy trails out there, my friends. Drive careful, and we will see you next time.